sue us if I play it wrong.
Save it.
It depends on how wrong.
Save it for the show.
I seem to have this weird ability where I'm able to play it in such a wrong way, you can still play it.
copy. Go for Argus Fox. Show activities. What, should I say something now or just wait?
Yeah, you know what? Sure.
Information on this subject collected not by crackpots, but by respected, mainstream, level-headed people who want to know what, if anything, is going on. What we've tried to do is sift through as much of this information as possible to see if there's anything to it.
Welcome to Hypercubism, the high-tech, new-age pseudo-religion for those who want instant results. Our program has been scientifically engineered to maximize potential without years of meditative training or expensive biomods. First, some history on Hypercube Labs. Founded in 2012 by Argus Q. Fox, Hypercube Labs was originally a VCR repair center before a creative, mysterious VHS tapes arrived at the workshop. After analyzing the tapes, it seemed they were utilized in a former Chinese video-based subliminal learning aid program, which, after years of study, was broken down and restructured into the Hypercube Home Relaxation System, the first of many of new Hypercube Labs products. This technology would later be refined into the current Psychoustic system, which allows users to manipulate space-time from the comfort of their own home, or anywhere on Earth. Hypercube Labs generates the Psychoustic signal, a process that comes from the mining of deep web content which is run through distillation algorithms and is transmitted across the planet through the Subether network. The Subether network maintains a constant connection with the hollow matrix, the container which all of our known reality lies in. By utilizing the global pylon array, journeymans can harness Psychoustic signals and use the energy to charge deep web crystals, manufactured by Hypercube. Hypercube Labs' primary goal is to construct as many pylons as possible, so to amplify the effects of Psychoustic transmissions and therefore increasing the power of all journeymans across the land. More information on this later. In 2018, Hypercube Labs made a breakthrough discovery. Our world, our reality, is not the only one in existence. This was known as the Feast of the End Times, as it was discovered that upon the completion of our existence's primary purpose would ultimately lead to the destruction of this dimensional container. Through deep guided meditation, several journeyman psychonauts were able to make contact with the Hypercube Labs in an alternate dimension and exchange radical information, along with the extrapolation of data harvested from the Holomatrix deep web scrubbers. It was revealed that for our planet that the Holomatrix would be analyzing our species after a major religious end-time event. This event was held at July 5th, 1998 at 7 a.m., when all people who not only believed but honestly and sincerely held their religious tenets, no matter which one, would be spontaneously ruptured to the afterlife. It is rather apparent, due to our current global population, that most of us did not meet the requirements. Now, the world is continuing its run, but we do not know for how much longer the simulation will remain active. Current prospects show a major calamity on April 13, 2029, which may very well be the harbinger of our final destruction. To prevent ever being deleted and thrown in a galactic recycle bin, Hypercube Labs began work on how to escape this dismal future. It is through the creation of a religious system that one might be spared when the Day of Atonement arrives, thus the birth of Hypercubism.
Hit it.
Man, it's so exciting to be a part of Time for the Show tonight on the new and improved Time for the Show, now with Hypercubism. That's right, kids, Hypercubism. You've just, as I have, seen one of the great new commercials for Hypercubism, expounding upon our YouTube ministry to get the word out to everyone so we can increase the pylon density throughout this three-dimensional plane that we live in. And here's my favorite part of the show, where we ask Dr. Fox, how's he doing, and say hello.
Hi, Peas. It's great to be. Where are we? I don't know where we are. What are we doing?
Well, we're in the former capital of the Spanish Empire, Orlando, Florida, where we live in a 27-story compound that is strangely disguised as a quaint bungalow in a residential neighborhood. But the depths of Hypercube's compound know no bounds, and as we speak, more pylons and floors are being dug into the crevice we call the Earth, so that we can continue to bring you this broadcast excellence
That we call
Time for the Show.
Ta-da! Awesome job, Peas.
All right, well, it's time for my favorite part of the show, Cube News.
Oh boy! Tell us all about what are the big headlines tonight, Peas?
Wait. Before we get any further,
That's
I think
not
he
fair.
just forgot a crucial element
Oh,
to
yeah,
being a
did you?
host.
Yeah, Peas. You.
Tell us, Howard Stern.
I feel you forgot somebody, Peas. I think you forgot a lot of people to introduce.
Yeah, you didn't even talk about Aster 6 for like a millionth of a nanosecond.
Yeah, like you just didn't.
A micro nanosecond.
He just
Peas.
blew right through this one. I mean,
So you feel the show's off to a bad start?
well,
You
I'm
guys
not
are saying.
saying that, but I feel you are lacking.
We do know it's time for the show now.
Yeah.
We did get to that. That was my favorite part of the show so far.
And we
is
know-
we told everybody what they were watching.
And we know there's a Dr. Fox, but I think that's all we know.
Because, well, but that's really, if you think about it,
Which we don't.
which we don't, Dr. Fox. That's such an excellent point. And that's why you're singled out in the show, because you bring that kind of depth and savoir-faire to the show that, you know, Aster 6 was because you promised me I would have the cards, and I don't have any cards, so that I forgot to mention the angelic pre and post production work that Aster 6 does. Well, you know, I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to fuck it up.
Oh man, speaking of, yeah.
Oh, I can't say that. Can't say that on the
Now
radio.
that's leading into the Cube News, though. It's a good segue. It's a good segue. I know that much. I have to scoot over here. The little peace box is it's over here. Here you are. Hi, Peas.
You seem different. Hi, buddy. How's it going?
It's it's going all right. We're moving. Got the new microphone.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so hopefully that we did a sound check. Big shout out to Dr. Cosmac. That's number 7 right there.
Cosmax Commandos.
And that's getting that sound check done. And Reverend Flux Frutenberg here on the sticks.
Hi there.
And Aster 6 on the kicks. And Reverend Keith in micro satellite studio in Las Vegas, Utah, in Nevada County. Peas, what happened this week with you? You're hosting.
I've been watching.
You're hosting the show. You should be asking all the questions.
I think you're doing a great job, Fox, by the way, but I know Pease is the host. Host away.
Yeah, man, tell them all about it. Tell them about these new Negative at Night t-shirts, Reverend Pease. That's what the kids were excited about.
It looks like there's some new Negative at Night t-shirts that, until I was listening and or watching time for the show, I had no idea that it even existed. So I, much like our listening and viewing audience, are seeing these fine works of art for the first time themselves. And they are fabulous, folks. Let me give you a radio word picture so you can imagine what they look like if you don't have the miracle of YouTube on your computer. These are black tees. Black is a black person's blackness. I just don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I just don't know what to say.
We could
They're
tell.
black.
We could
You're
tell.
not even allowed to wear these shirts. If you're a white person, you can't even buy these shirts. What?
I'm
Yes,
not
they
even gonna
they
touch
can-
that one.
Blackface. They consider it blackface.
Who considers it blackface?
How did we even get here?
You're black people. They sent me a letter. Oh, we just went right off the rails, right off the first bit.
Oh man,
We're gonna get
which
banned on
leads into
YouTube
my
for sure.
favorite part of the show, which is so.
Pease makes an ass of
So
himself.
Pease, when we first started doing time for the show, Pease reached out to Mr. Lobo from OSI 74, who immediately said yes, he would come on to the show. And I was like, we don't even know what it is that we do each week. We get together and
but we're still doing it.
we're still doing it, but we're doing something completely different. And I reached out to him, and he wants to come on the show and do the show with us and go through an episode, answering the letters, doing the show bit. So we're in the process of booking him for that. But I mean, Pease,
That'll be exciting.
You're gonna have to
Wonder if I'm-
straighten up, Pease. This is.
I wonder if I'm still going to be on the show. I wonder if I'm still
You're
be on the
gonna-
show. I might be.
Well, I think
fired.
we have a remedy for that, right?
Yeah, every time you screw up, Pease, not only will we pay an embarrassing sound effect, but we're going to give away a digit of your cell phone number.
Ooh, that's good.
I
Got
should
9
apologize.
slips, buddy.
I should apologize because I was trying to freeform and I was doing free association and that's
Are you
what came
blaming
out, and,
improv?
Oh, wait.
Is that what you're doing?
I am I am a little bit, because I got to be honest.
Okay.
I got to be honest with you. I'm a little chagrined
Roseanne, what did you have for dinner tonight? Did you?
I had meatloaf, and I couldn't blame the meatloaf. That you said meatloaf was bad, and it turns out it
Meatloaf
is.
murder.
But
Think of all of those innocent loaves.
I'm not trying to make an excuse, but there is actually a scientific basis that when you do freeform thought association, you just spit it out, and that's what I was attempting to do, and it wasn't funny, and it was probably super offensive, and I didn't mean it to be, and so I'd like to apologize.
Save it for the
everybody in audience in
apologies,
regards
please.
to-
Save it for the apologies.
I will. I'm going to try to forget about it until then. I hope that I'm allowed to.
Well, I
do
wanted to tell everybody, if anybody's got an apology, it's me so far. So these Negative at Night shirts are coming out really well. But the Fergan Friday shirts,
They're really nice.
yeah, I'm really happy with these. These came out really nice, and
I won't be describing them.
Good God. The Fergan Friday shirts, I was not pleased with the quality that was coming out, and I have to redo that entire screen. So there is just more delays on the Fergan Friday shirts. This will probably be the last time I do pre-orders on anything. I don't know, maybe we'll do it, because I have the Bensky's idea, and if anybody's willing to, it helps get the resources down and stuff like that. So I don't know, I'll think about it again. But the Fergan Friday shirts are being made, but I'm redoing it, and I'm going back to square one to do it. So that should be about another week. But they're on their way. They're on their way. And the Negative at Night shirts are obviously they're ready to be print off. So I'm waiting on hearing from Reverend Negative on how many he wants to do. It's all about maintaining a quality. This is all done by hand. So even if you don't want a t-shirt, this is where it pays to plug the Patreon, patreon.com/hypercube, because all of those funds are what goes into making these things and creating this. If you hear that sound right now, that's people sending money to paypal.me/DOKFAUX. Did you hear that? Yeah. That was money in the bank. That was 2 kids.
That was $80.
That was at least $80. Is that what it said?
Yeah. Well, yeah, $40 per person, right? That's how much they donate.
That sounds good to me.
So if you don't donate $40 right now at paypal.me/DOKFAUX, what are you doing with your life?
Yeah, you're not making my phone ring. You're not making my phone ring. That's what you're not
good
doing.
ring. Good ring. I like
It's a good ring.
You can hear it. That's
But yeah,
why
the
I like it.
Pinsky's nuclear beer shirts. Those are the next ones on the list to do, and so we'll hopefully get onto those. I think it's time for me to turn the show back over to our host, Reverend Pease. And I'd like to introduce our guest for tonight, Jesse Jackson. Yeah.
Fuck.
All right, Pease, your turn. You host. I'm done. I got the new microphone. I'm just gonna sit here and stare at this blue light.
What's Ask Your Six, what's the next segment?
Was it?
That was Cube News, right? We didn't really do Cube News.
Well, what do we normally do after the highlights, the headlines, or whatever you want to call them?
Well, no,
Well,
that was
normally
Cube
about this
News,
time-
talking about
Okay.
the news
Oh yeah, Cube News.
Yeah, that was the Cube News.
So
now, what we
Peas
typically do-
O'Box, right? Am I right? See, Peas,
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
you're not
you
prepared.
Yeah,
That's
Pease.
it.
You
That's
should
good.
know.
Well, I was not told.
We're doing
Obviously not from my
It's
opening
easy.
montage.
You just have to read the cards.
Where are your old cards, Pease?
I don't know.
All right. Well, I think this is time for something.
Mailbox, Pease. Open the mailbox.
Yeah, man.
Open the mailbox, Pease.
I even have some music for it too, dude.
But I don't have the letters to read.
Yeah, you do.
Always does that.
Yeah, well then introduce the bit.
It's time for my favorite part of the show. So awesome, good part of the show, where Aster 6 opens up the Piezo box and finds what kind of viewer mail and listener mail you've sent us in the last week for Argus Fox and the P's to decipher.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
Without
we go.
doing
Yeah,
any
I guess so.
racism.
So yeah, we've got a few. We got some letters, some general questions for the show. Dear
Does
show,
this sound good?
can a person wear house slippers on a bus?
What city?
What time of day? Which bus?
Good answers.
I'm afraid I have no answers for these questions.
People,
Well, where's
I'm gonna
the
say yes.
who wrote the letter? Who wrote the letter?
These
Where
are
are they
anonymous
from?
letters.
We can decipher
They're from the viewers
Oh.
in Radio Land.
I'm gonna say sure.
this is
I'm gonna say here's
from
my
Explains It All Minnesota.
Fid Chuli. You can wear your house slippers wherever you like.
But if you're not wearing them in the house, they're not house slippers anymore. They're just slippers.
Well, they're bus slippers now. Maybe he's got a whole backpack full of slippers for different,
Well, that's what they
events.
do in Japan.
Going on the bus slippers.
You change your shoes, and
Do they?
yeah, every time you change into a vehicle. That's why Ubers take so long in Japan. It's all the shoe changing.
Imagine the smell.
Yeah, it's just a lot of maintenance.
Wait a minute. You got to take off your street shoes and put on some kind of Uber shoes.
Yeah, well, that's been like custom ever since they came up with cars in Japan.
Well, shoes.
Or
What?
shoes.
Well, that's only been about 6 years, so I mean, it can't be that entrenched in the culture.
I don't get your reference, P's.
That's a,
Okay.
that's a womp womp right there.
I said there'd be no racism, and then I was racist.
Almost.
so-
You were almost racist.
You sound very
That one time
Morose.
P's
Contrite?
was almost racist.
Well, how about we move on to the next letter?
Contrite.
That's when I was proud of it. All right,
Okay.
next letter.
This
All
time,
right.
this letter's gonna
Dear
have no
show.
racism in it, for sure.
All right, well, if you promise, Peas, as long as you promise. All right, dear show, what's an SPF cream I can wear to protect against phone and computer screen rays?
Ooh.
Ejaculate.
Isn't there a Hypercube lotion called Cube Lotion?
Yeah, you can use a Hypercube gang stalking repellent.
There you go.
It's super effective, trust me. Shake it on and
Jovian
apply
musk.
liberally.
It's based on Jovian musk oil.
How many more cum jokes are you going to make, Peas?
Jovian musk oil is not. You never heard of the musk
No, I
oil
was just
perfume
curious. Like
called Jovian?
how many
Come on, every kid
how
wore
many
that.
shows per year? Yeah, and out of how many references per shows? How many of them are semen and ejaculate? I feel
That's a scalp pod question. To be honest
you
with you.
need Scalpod to measure our
Semen
our,
intake.
our semen output.
Our semen intake.
I
well,
don't think
somebody
that's right
sure
to ask of
much.
Scalpod. He should not have to do that.
He's a good boy. He'd do it.
I'll ask Scalpod which one of us ejaculates the most.
Not even has to, just mentions it. Otherwise, we'd have it would end up like beer pong with all these styrofoam cups everywhere.
Try this one.
I was thinking more about trying to just knock them over with the ping pong ball. Did we have another letter?
Oh yeah. Yeah, dear show, when is it acceptable to carry a pedestrian on a forklift?
Anytime.
So I guess it depends on your, ability to get work on.
Yeah, the level of inebriation of either the operator or the rider. That's when it comes down to. It's either I'm drunk enough to drive this forklift and carry this guy across the street, or I'm drunk enough to let this guy drive me on a forklift.
I mean, both are. It seems like a good time.
It's one or the other, though.
Here's the thing, though. Forklifts are surprisingly complicated to
one
operate.
person should be able to, discern a little bit of, consent to it. Forklift shenanigans, you need to have at least one liable party. Somebody needs to be able to know that they're going down. That's just forklift 101.
Am I going to get a credit for the Dr. Lobo booking? Because I kind of booked it a long time ago, really.
What?
Are you asking for something like reparations?
Ooh.
Well, if I could maybe have one of those cool gold-backed stickers that you've got for sale at Slack Pack. Oh my God! I'm blinded by their luminosity and the beautifulness of them all. Maybe I could get one of those for having booked the great and famous Dr. Lobo over 2 years ago.
Yeah. And which part, which episode over the past 2 years do you think would have been the most exciting to have had him on as a guest?
Well, the one that he wasn't on.
But what is your favorite episode of Time for the Show? Because I've gotten several. Because I've
You
asked
can't
before.
say all of them either.
Yeah, because the fans actually do have favorites, and they like certain
Like the
episodes
best-
for certain reasons.
The best one is the compilation one that you made. I mean, I think hands down that was
that's
a work of art.
cop-out.
Oh, the
That's-
greatest hits, of
Yeah.
course. That's like saying all
Yeah,
of them.
but no,
Yeah, that's like saying all of them.
no, but if you'd let me expound upon my premise, I would expound
But I
further.
won't
Okay.
because it's not holding water. This thing is like, you know what I saw the other day, Peace, that really ground my
Even a
gears?
leaky boat takes a while to sink.
I saw a television commercial while I was at like a bar type situation, and it was for women's hygiene products. And for years, anytime that I had seen like a live, real-time demonstration of the absorbency of women's hygiene products, they would use this blue liquid. But in this one, they didn't use blue liquid. They used this muddy, brownish red liquid.
They
They
did
did. I'm
not.
completely
They did.
serious. And they poured it on to
I
the
have not
women's
seen this
hygiene
commercial.
products. But then spun them around in 3D to show you just how much it would absorb.
What about the children?
The children weren't at the bar.
What's going to happen to the surplus stuff that's in the barber's thing that he keeps the combs in? Because that's what they used to pour on those women and feminine hygiene products to show you their absorbency. That's going to devastate. That's going to devastate that business.
You mean when they start dipping all of their combs in menstrual blood?
No, I'm saying that was a big sideline for that company. They sold the blue liquid to keep the combs clean at the barber shop, and they had a sideline of selling like extra blue liquid to the feminine hygiene testing product companies. And if they're going to a more natural, maybe I should say it in French, natural method of showing the displacement of the woman's feminine hygiene product to the bloody mucousy mass that is their menstrual flow, that's going to be a big hit on that company that won't have anywhere to sell their excess blue barber liquid to show the absorbency. So I'm concerned for that industry. I hope that they've got another revenue stream.
It's a good flip piece. Good flip. Did we have another letter?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
one more letter.
Got another one here. Yeah, that was.
Really went on a tangent with that one.
Yeah, we went pretty far
That was
astray.
a good one.
Anyway, dear show, what are the best animals to keep for milk?
Rats.
ones with transparent or whitish fluids. It's a callback. Yeah, well, hey, it's true. You ever milk it?
No,
You ever
I'm not
milk a
saying
duck?
that.
That's how you get duck sauce. You gotta squeeze them. You gotta juice them.
Easy ever
That's
milk
so
a duck?
funny joke, Dr. Fox make funny joke about duck.
More blackface on the radio.
Is that what did we say about his cell phone number? Oh, if he swears, right?
Yeah.
That's okay.
That was what was okay about it.
That was okay. That was just like
I was able to talk about women's natural flows and try to, and I
So was
able
I.
to keep it classy.
So was I. I talked
And I
about
was
it.
able to keep it classy. And you took it.
What's classier than the sterile blue solution that barbers use to keep their combs clean?
It's
What's classier than that, dude?
Well,
It's
not
gonna
as
move
classy
past
as
that.
well, a Chinese accent is just not classy at all.
Oh, whoa, hold on there, Skippy.
Well, when a
I
white
don't think
man
you should
does
be
it.
assuming my accent. You're assuming that was a Chinese accent. That
Yeah.
could have been a
Sounded
retard.
like it.
It could have been some kind of Slavic guy that
See,
grew
you
up in
feel,
Hong Kong.
I know
That
you
could have been a
you
white
don't
guy
like
that grew
China
up in
being
San
on the
Francisco.
move. So you
Don't
doing a
assume-
Chinese
don't assume
accent
my
just
accent.
sounds
Don't assume
incredibly
my accent.
problematic and racist. Now, what do you feel about that?
I
Huh?
feel that you're being
I'm
pretty
talking
judgy.
about
I
a
think you're being
studio
judgmental,
on the radio,
and you're
and you're going
assuming
against
a lot
the
of things.
community.
So are these the kind of bits that we're gonna do when we have like the only?
No, I'm getting out.
You're trying to
I'm
get
getting out of my system.
You're trying to
getting
get
it
it
out of my
out. You're trying to
system,
shake it out. Because that's what
Yeah.
this show is.
Getting it out of my
Episode
system so I can do a good
151,
show.
The Great Wake Up, where it's like
Now, listen.
we're already suffering because we're on YouTube, you know, and we won, you know, our appeal because of what you said about COVID-19, Peas. And so, you know, our channel almost got a strike because you told everybody that you were going to kill them. and now we're
I don't think
I'm pretty sure that's what you said. We could go back to that episode, but I remember, didn't they delete it? And I had to re-upload it, so we'll have to find it.
Yeah, we'll have to dig
We'll have to dig it up.
Is it
But
a
I'm pretty sure it'd be pretty easy to find that episode where P said if you get a vaccination that you're probably going to get cancer and that you're going to you're going to melt, something like that, like your face is going to melt off like
said
a
it in
Nazi.
a joking way.
It was
though.
jocular.
I said it in a
It was
joking
but
way.
we didn't tell people back then that we were joking.
You would
This-
think
well,
in the
now they know.
category comedy,
This is what we
it
get.
would be a joke.
We don't need.
but-
Yeah, who needs to get back to comedy? So
But-
we're gonna.
Yeah. Yeah, the
Speaking of, I've got one more.
So when are we
Oh,
doing the
there's
Dr.
one-
Lobo show?
Well, with that attitude, maybe we won't find out. Why? Do you want to do the Dr. Lobo show?
Well, I thought we're a team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm letting you know that there's this guy that if we were to do well
Right.
with, it's obvious that like we could get picked up and move on to something that generates a bigger audience and stuff like that. But a lot of these people out there, these people peas, they're called viewers. A lot of them have discerning taste, and a lot of them love to hate everything that, you know, you will
That's
ever do. You know,
Well,
but we
I
keep
am
you
pleased.
around. Pete.
but I can't do time for the show without peas.
No.
Who wants an hour each week of just Dr. Fox sitting here looking at, you know, the wall and and talking to himself.
You are very handsome. Okay. All right, I'll do better. Let's do the next one. I'll do
We got
better.
one more
This
letter?
time for
We got
sure. No
one
racism.
last letter.
No racism this time.
All right. We'll see how well you do.
I'm crossing my fingers.
Dear show, why is dwarf try that again. Why is dwarf tossing illegal in some places?
Now, this doesn't seem fair to Peas.
Let's see how well you are.
They just said don't be racist. They said nothing about the little people.
Yeah, Peas.
The dwarves are one of the main races you can choose in D&D. How can you say they're not a race?
That's different. That's make-believe, because races don't
So,
exist
the
in
reason-
D&D.
Yeah, I'll snap you. I'll
Not
snap you
in
with
my
some wisdom.
headspace, buddy.
That was actually good. The reason it's illegal in some states, and it really should be legal in all states, is that little people, as they prefer to be called, and especially
Hey,
little people that suffer from the
diminutive
disease
Americans, buddy.
of, they like to be called little people. Ask a couple. And dwarfism, which is the manifestation of the reason that they are so small, causes them to have some particularly difficult issues with fractures and breaking their neck. So when you toss a dwarf, you have a really good chance of killing him or paralyzing him if he hits his head wrong or he doesn't hit the wall right. Now, it's strange enough that dwarf or midget wrestling, as they called it, midget's a derogatory term, they would prefer to be called little people wrestling now, but people don't understand how dangerous it was for those people to do that kind of wrestling, because they, much more so than a regular or a non-little person, to do some of those feats really took their life in their own hands. And the untold secret of wrestling is that many of those performers died or were injured, never compensated, because as you know, all wrestlers are independent contractors. They're not really employees of the guild or the federation that they work for. And so it's a tragedy that these great athletes were hurt, and these laws are in a sense to protect people that suffer from dwarfism from being put in a financial situation where they would be forced for monetary reasons to perhaps get injured by letting drunk people throw them at a wall.
I was gonna say, it sounds like a couple of states.
Sorry, he kind of lost me there on the whole, like, little
Yeah,
people
Peas.
thing, man. I fucking fell asleep,
You
man.
had more positive things to say about diminutive Americans than you've had to say of any thing about a person of color for at least an entire show now. Come on.
Congratulations, Steve. Congratulations.
We're starting to get woke.
I think
Peas.
it's terrible.
We're starting to get
I
woke.
think it's
Peas, but
terrible.
Just a little bit.
I think it's terrible that you would assume that that there are no people of color that suffer from dwarfism.
Oh, I'm sure there are.
Conversation
Flip
was.
it back on.
So wasn't I in a sense? I am being quite generous to all the peoples of the world, of whom I love, regardless of the hue of their skin.
How much you love them? Do you love them a long time?
Yeah, if they get paid right, sure.
What's the next part of the show, Peas?
It's where we do band name, and then we all go smoke a cigarette and listen to some awesome kick-ass music, and then we come back and tell people what the band name is.
All right, yeah.
It's my favorite part
What's
of the
this
show.
week's band name?
This week's band name is Black T-Shirts.
That sounds groovy. Well,
It's Black T-Shirts is Black T-Shirts band. Yes or no? We'll find out when we come back.
Okay. Swinging over to After 6 on the Computron. You're listening to Time for the Show. We'll be right back.
I have just left the Frop Enclave. I'm seeing all the equipment for Milnar and other bands down in this basement, and I am now on my way upstairs.
I'm not! Fuck you! L. Ron Hubbard came to me all sweaty and pissed, wanting to know how badly he's missed. I laughed and dropped by today and gave him a wink. He's to blame for fucking your game, Ronnie. Yeah, turn the page here, sorry. Sure, you got David and that boy toy cruise, but for the most part, the con sees through your little bruise. Not to mention, we really underbid you on the buy-in. He glared at me through one featured blood-filled, oozing black shit I can only imagine was his soul. His other eye was clear and blue, but both were filled with the fear. Through the noxious pink stink odor that filled my third nostril, I listened to his woes. Some bastard named Ivan Sang, he for sure would name. Some poor wretch named Connie, Johnny Carson, and some cat named Richard Dawson. Then out of nowhere I smell it. The pipe. His pipe. Bob's pipe. I feel piss trickling down my leg. First it's hot and ice, turning quickly cold and frightening. I know it's him! Bob! Quick as lightning and whistles. And Elron comes running all the while, whining, whimpering, and shaking his ass. And from the depths behind the smoke, I hear him whisper, it's hard to keep good drummers, and they were gone. This is the gospel of peace. Praise Bob! Rock on Bob, bitches! I'm done. Thank you, brothers and sisters. Thank you. By the way, the Fez is in honor of Dr. Howe, who could not be here.
All right. It's time for my favorite part of the show. It's the shout-outs. Woo! Where's that shout-out music at? Of course, we'd be nothing without our sponsors over at Triology Soaps. Fantastic Dobbs bars, which are now back on sale. You can pick those up at packslack.com. Just hit the Triology Soaps button and pick up a bar. Once again, one of these nothing bars, these guys run $5. It lasts 2 weeks, sometimes a little longer. And they've got the embedded loofahs, they've got goat's milk bars, which are great for shaving. Trust me, I know. I trusted my skin to Triology Soaps for all of my close shaving needs. And I stand by it. It's the best soap that I'm using right now. So do yourself a favor, go to packslack.com and go to Triology Soaps. Pick up a bar today. Support the show and support our sponsors by picking up some Triology Soaps. Of course, shout outs to, where's my shout outs card? Bob South, Cosmac, Michael Marcus, Trenchy, Scout Pod, Couch Sloth, Caller 23, Reverend 80, Fenord, Long Dead, Brother Other, Martha Artha, Agent Lloyd, Reverend Negative at Night, and Hazel of the Windmills. That's the weekly shout outs. If you want a weekly shout out, go to patreon.com/hypercubego. And now back to our host of Time for the Show for tonight. It's Peas. Hi, Peas.
I'm trying to see if that's a band.
Peas.
So, yeah. Oh, are you looking?
Yeah,
I guess he's taking his hosting duties seriously.
He was going to look it up for us. Great. Aster 6, did you happen to look it up at all? No?
I even forgot the band name.
It was the black t-shirts.
Oh, that,
Well, while Peace looks it up, then what do you think, Flux Rudenberg?
the black t-shirts?
That sounds like a band to me.
I'm gonna go with nah, man. It's too generic. It's too generic. You know, with a name like Black T-shirts, there's no witty wordplay there. It's just.
I don't know. I could see a really good couple of good T-shirt designs.
Do they all just wear black T-shirts? That's kind of boring.
Could be some chicks in black T-shirts.
I'd watch that.
I'd watch it.
Well,
I guess we're gonna find out.
yeah.
I'm doing the search, and all I'm finding out, if I put in this search, I go Black T-shirts, the band. All I get is like 1,000 hits for black band, T-shirts, band T-shirts that are on black T-shirts. So I'm not finding any bands. I'm gonna say it's not a band.
Not a
No,
band.
it's not a band.
I agree. It is not a band.
And Astro 6 is going to agree with that. So there we go. Got a good side project for X Day.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, we're up to about 40 attendees at X Day. So if you want to be attendee, play your cards right and RSVP to come to X Day now. We've got about 10 more slots left. So make sure to RSVP at Dr. Fox, DOKTORFAUX @gmail.com. There's also Fox at hypercubego.com. Just send it to my Gmail because that's where I'm gonna get it. Let me know that you're coming. Reverend Dapper's coming. Wild Bill's coming.
Who else is coming?
Hazel of the Windmills says,
All right.
she's thinking about it. I'm like, well, you should totally come out so I can sign that certificate that I totally mailed to you and didn't sign.
That's a good reason to
Elvis
come.
Martini's coming.
Elvis Martini.
Caller 23 is going to be there.
He's going. I thought he wasn't going.
Oh, look
to be
right there. He actually said, yeah, caller 23 here. I'm going to be at X Day.
Oh,
Fantastic.
That's an air horn for caller right there.
So yeah, it's turning out to be quite the ordeal. So
It's only gonna be 3 days. How's he gonna say hello?
that's funny, Pease. That's funny. You're a funny guy. And handsome too.
I don't
What's
get
the
it.
next part of the show, Pease?
Oh man, I hope it's not true.
Peas. Next part of the show.
No, we did a bunch of stuffs already.
Do you not have a witty story tonight?
I'm just gonna do a little.
Well,
I've got one piece. Maybe I'll.
You should tell
maybe
one.
I'll tell
Ooh.
a story.
You tell your witty story.
All right.
I'm gonna be Argus Fox. That's how it should be, because I'm the host.
Yeah, you're the host, Pease. So introduce.
So now we're gonna
the-
hear-
Yeah, there you go.
Fox or truth?
Truth or Fox?
Truth or Fox? That's a bad. That rolls better. That's why
That's why I'm here. Okay.
That's why you're here.
Let me see here.
Fox or fiction? Am I late on that one?
See, now I'm having like what Pease goes through, where he's like, oh, I don't know if I've already told that one or not. It's like there are times where we've said stuff on the air and totally revealed it. But
Yeah, but you've shared so little of yourself with the listeners and the viewers that I feel like any story, you could just grab anything into that cavernous mind of yours, and none of us would have ever heard it before.
well, let's see here.
Yeah, let's see.
Let's see here.
Yeah.
So, when I was a wee little Dr. Fox, about first, second grade Dr. Fox.
Intern Fox.
Little
intern
Fox, still learning the ways of the land.
Not even a resident yet.
I was absolutely in love with every animal in the world, and I I wanted to be friends with the animals. I wanted to drink wine with the animals as a young child, and I wanted to commune with them and sing their songs. But this was not always the way, and some people would call Dr. Fox, some other we'll call them miscreants, would call Dr. Fox a softie and a bit of a dandy because he wanted to talk to the animals. And so what happened was, outside of the playground, several children started digging up worms. And at first, they were just pulling them out of the ground. But then they started impaling them with sticks and skewers and crucifying these worms. And they would
Praise Jesus.
They would go up to the chain link fence and they would line up their sticks and they would take the worms and then they would come up and they would do firing squads on them. And they would all come and they would stomp on the worms and smash them into just pulverized bits of mucus and meat. And so Dr. Fox, little intern Fox, started a campaign to save the worms, including making protest signs and picketing the wanton acts of violence that other children were committing upon nature. And
that's why we have global warming.
And that's why, yes, and Dr. Fox and little intern Fox was laughed off the picket line and further ridiculed for the rest of his life for being sentimental towards earthworms. And that is my story.
Okay, can I ask my questions?
Yes, you get to ask your questions now.
Is this why you have a fascination with Doug Tempall?
The guy that deep fries everything on the Food Network?
No, the guy that created Earthworm Jim.
I would say no. I think I found something else about his work later that would be invigorating. But then I found that he's actually just a giant bully, and I don't want anything to do with him.
Now, Fox.
Okay.
Does this have to do with the cancellation of Earthworm Jim?
I think that's what.
Is that what
Bees was
sparked it
just
all?
asking.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm a youngin'. I don't know these things.
Asked
Jesus
and
fucking
answered,
Christ.
Senator.
Sorry.
Asked and answered, Senator. I like beer.
I was the first one
Fox.
who liked beer.
Well, I guess
Is
that's
this was this the private school?
yeah. Was it the private school that you went to?
Yeah.
So they were okay with you killing tiny things. There are other kids killing tiny things, I should say.
It's
Not
yeah,
so much
they were
for pro-life, huh?
complacent. They
Were
were
they-
complacent in it.
Were they actual crosses or just cross-like?
I guess you could say they were cross-like.
Okay.
Something to
I'm going to say
crucify.
that this story is. I know he loves animals. I want to say he would do that. I feel there was a lot of reasons for you to do it, but the whole Earthworm Jim thing makes me think that that's how you pulled this story together. Just that commonality of it, and you mentioned earthworms. I'm going to say it's a lie based on that connection. However, I totally would believe that you would do something like that because you have the soul and heart of an angel.
But you don't believe I did that.
No, I think that this is a tale you told to fool your pal, the Pete.
All right.
I believe you, Fox. I mean, you have that. What do they call it? That liberal.
Douchebagginess.
Yeah, the douchery of loving a worm. So much so as to what's the word I'm looking for? Protest.
No, I think if it's
killing
true,
of worms.
if it's true, you're missing the point. If it is a true story, you're missing the point. It wasn't any of those things that caused Dr. Fox to speak out. Dr. Fox, unadmittedly, he would never admit this to anyone, has a deep sense of what is right in the world and what is just in the world.
Yes,
and many times when he sees those things taking place, he speaks up. He has protested and done other things. You know what? I wished I could change my answer and say that yes, this did happen, because I feel like if it didn't happen, which I said it didn't, it should have happened, because that's the Dr. Fox I know, protector of the worms. The guy that says, hey, it doesn't matter that they're worms, you guys are being assholes for stomping on the worms and poking them with sticks. They're not doing anything to you. Now, Dr. Fox probably would not have protested if those kids had dug up them worms and gone a-fishing with them, because then there would have been a reason to their insanity. They would have been a-fishing and needed them worms to hook up the fish to take home. But there was no logic behind it.
Would you kill a worm?
Actually stomp them later. Yes, I have killed a worm.
I think that's why he's saying it's a lie.
Out of your own guilt.
Yeah. He wants to make up for the massacre, the genocide he's done to the worm.
What's the answer,
race.
Dr. Fox?
This week's answer is that this story that I told is, in its entirety, absolutely true.
Take that,
tough, isn't it?
Not only did I protest, I made signs that said "Save the worms" stuck into my desk at school. And
how many friends did you lose?
Several.
Yeah, that many,
I would say 2 or 3 people totally were like just appalled by my behavior.
Wow.
I was
Did the other children get killed the worms?
I don't think so.
Were the other children pulled aside and said, hey, don't kill worms?
Maybe. I'm not sure. Nobody told me anything on my regard.
I feel like they should have.
Well, it brings us to what's the next part of the show, Peas?
Well, it's time to apologize almost.
Almost, but we got a couple of minutes. Maybe we should do the headlines. They did the Proving Grounds piece.
Oh, let's do the headlines. Yeah, that's a good idea. Master 6, read out the headlines.
Best part of the show.
Say please.
Best part of the show. Master 6, please.
All right, yeah. Tonight we've got. Here's a fun one. Stevie Wonder is moving to Ghana.
I was gonna say the move back. You kind of stepped on it.
No, I think yeah,
that would work.
Master 6
that would work.
Master 6, we said no more racism.
No, just that's only to you.
Ghana.
We have a big guest coming on, and you can't
barely
playing hijinks.
Well, I'll shout louder then.
Please do.
All right.
Okay.
Canada-U.S. borders closed until further notice.
Tim Hortons destitute.
Our generic Tim Hortons is gonna
Bagged milk industry in turmoil.
We'll go with that one. I'll give you bag milk piece.
Yeah.
Wisconsinites extremely confused.
Stocks in maple baked beans skyrocket. Next to,
I made some baked beans yesterday.
I like them with toast.
Toast. All right, Thailand is pushing
they're
to
more
make
difficult than you
cannabis
think.
its
Hold on.
next cash crop.
One more time, please.
Thailand is pushing to make cannabis their next cash crop.
hemp thongs stocks rapidly increase.
I guess
And
that.
I mean both kinds of thongs.
I guess the ladyboy market isn't doing too well.
I guess it's getting smoked out.
Smart investors going big in bamboo twine.
Let's see here. Japan has made a minister of loneliness.
Japan releases new goth album weekly.
Japan gets even more lonely. Nah, that was terrible.
Yeah, Aphex Twin to play next week.
Suicide Forest becomes Suicide City.
Now filming a remake of Das Boot.
Okay, yeah. Next headline.
Trophy hunter poses with Valentine's animal heart.
Trophy hunter poses with Valentine's animal heart.
Toys R Us threatens Roth lawsuit. Jeffrey's death will not go unavenged.
Fantastic, Pete.
Knew it was a giraffe. Very good, Pete.
You know, it gets a little of this. But that's it.
All right. Last one.
Yeah, last one.
Yeah, I got a last one. Okay, radiated fish still found around Fukushima.
Say again.
Radioactive fish still found around Fukushima.
Radioactive fish still found.
Sushi prices soar.
More meat on them fish.
New live-action Simpsons movie takes price cut on CGI budget. All right.
Well, Fox, that's incredible. It's time for my favorite part of the show, Fox. It's time for Fox's apologies.
Oh man, this is my favorite part of the show.
Let's do it.
I'd just like to tell everybody that, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I didn't get the t-shirts done on time, and I'm sorry that we didn't look up the band name before, and I'm sorry that instead of playing a song break, we played Pease's rant that he wanted me to play this week, and I'm sorry that Pease is racist and sexist and a bit of a chauvinist and a bit of a cruel monster towards anybody that bears any kind of difference towards his person. And I'm sorry. Hey! These are my apologies. I'd like to say sorry to Reverend Fanboy. Reverend Fanboy is a nice guy who is super friendly to everybody all the time and has never said anything bad or mean or inflammatory to anybody. And that all of the rage and hate that comes from people like Pease, that should just stop. And I apologize for it. I apologize for this show. That's it. That's another episode of Time for the Show. Pease, tell them where they can find Time for the Show.
It's on the internet.
All right, well, we'll see you next week, broadcasting live on freethinkradio.com and youtube.com/HypercubeGo. I'm Dr. Fox, Flux Rutenberg on the sticks, Aster 6 on the big board. On the Hypercom, it was Reverend Pease. Thanks to everybody that joined us in the chat this week. Make sure to sign up and subscribe to patreon.com/Hypercube. Support the show and keep it going. As long as you keep paying me, I'll keep suffering here for you. I'm Dr. Fox. Pease, you got anything else for him?
Hope you kids have a good week. We miss you. Don't think.
Yeah, don't forget, get your Hypercube memberships. available exclusively at hypercubego.com. It's full of stuff. All this stuff that's just falling out. Get 5 gold Don't Think stickers and more cool stuff. All right, it's time for sodas and chili dogs. Goodbye, everybody.